Dude, oh my god.
Oh my god, no.
What's with, yeah, because
She's completely...
oh, she's disboweled and everything.
She is disboweled.
It's crazy, man. They can drink nothing. It feels like a setup or something. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me.
So right off the bat, either you or Michelle is full of shit.
Stop, quick, no, stop, what's going on?
The next thing I remember is her coming into the bedroom, asking me if I believe in God, and as soon as I said yes, I have an iron to my face.
When did they start cutting her leg off?
I said, if I tell anybody that I'm gonna be the next one.
On August 24th, 2016 at 4:30 a.m., the Albuquerque Police Department received a 911 call reporting a woman covered in blood. The call came from a neighbor of the injured woman who said she'd been attacked. Officers rushed to the scene, unaware they were about to walk into one of the most disturbing cases in the city's history.
What's going on? I don't know, they just knocked on her door. Yeah. The police.
Just go try to
She would have stopped her. She came in and she was like asking me if I believe in God or stuff like that, and I said yes. Then she took an iron and she hit me in the head, and then she just kept hitting me, and then she started beating me.
Take it away. Who is this?
She's still there with
Jessica Kelly.
The woman injured is 35-year-old Michelle Martins, and with her is her boyfriend, 31-year-old Fabian Gonzalez. She's just told the officers that Fabian's cousin, Jessica Kelly, attacked them, but more importantly, that her 10-year-old daughter, Victoria Martins, is supposed to be in the apartment it all happened in. The first priority was clear: get to the apartment and check on Victoria.
Okay. That's fine.
Albuquerque Police, come open the door.
Is it going to be apartment 406 or 407?
Jessica, come open the door. This is the Albuquerque Police.
Are you Jessica?
No, I didn't do nothing.
Put her in cuffs. That's her. That's the one that locked the door.
I didn't do nothing. I'm scared, you guys.
Get in handcuffs. All right, relax.
Stop flipping. Stop it. Stop flipping.
Jessica has just jumped from the second-story window but injured herself on the way down. Instead of escaping, she collapsed, too injured to flee. But what might seem like an open and shut case of domestic violence was about to get a lot more complicated.
Why'd you lock the door? Okay.
Okay, there's a tent. Sit her down. Sit down. Sit down.
Sit down.
There's a 10-year-old. We need to check it.
That's when they heard the fire alarm. Whatever Jessica was screaming about suddenly took a back seat to what was happening inside that apartment. If Victoria were still in there, she would be in grave danger.
Do you have a fire extinguisher, man?
Oh.
Fire extinguisher?
No. Oh. You got it, kid. Oh. We're gonna need 601.
Hey man, she's 10-7 now. Yeah, I heard she's 10-7.
The officers found Victoria in the bathtub. She was dead, naked, disemboweled, dismembered, and lit on fire. As distraught as they were, they knew they needed to make sure the suspect didn't get away. Thankfully, they already had her in cuffs.
We need to put her in a car.
Hey, put her in your car, man.
What's going on inside the apartment? Need a wait space for rescue.
Sam 601.
I don't care if your leg's broken. You're gonna walk.
I can't walk, dude. Hold on.
You're gonna walk.
Broken. I just got thrown off the fucking balcony.
You didn't get thrown off. You jumped off. I saw you close the door. Go ahead. Female Tim. 10:30 is unconscious in the bathtub of the apartment. We're gonna need 43 here. Dude, doesn't matter. Just pull her. Just pull her. Just pull her, dude. Just it doesn't matter. Walk. Let's go. We'll get you help later. Let's go now. Who else was in the apartment with you? Where's the other guy?
He took coffee. He started trying to wipe blood. He started panicking.
Who was the other guy? Hey, just pull up your car.
Detectives arrived at the scene within seconds, and even they couldn't believe what they were hearing.
And we've confirmed that?
Well, her leg's amputated and she was on fire.
I checked her pulse and I couldn't get a pulse. Alright. 601, send me.
With Jessica in the cop car, they needed to gather as much information as they possibly could. For that, they went back to Michelle and Fabian, the only other people who were in that apartment when it all happened. But Michelle was in no condition to talk. Getting anything from her on the scene would be nearly impossible.
Hey, we're gonna get you to the hospital and get you stitches, okay? So can you come with the rescue personnel here? Yeah, you can walk okay, right?
I'm a little.
Yeah, we'll assist you over there. And,
It could be better.
so we're gonna walk over to that ambulance over there, okay? Not right now. Yeah, just you, but we'll make sure he gets over to the hospital in just a little bit, okay?
They checked with the neighbors that live in the apartment under Michelle's, hoping they'd heard something.
How are you guys doing this morning? Not very well. Are you okay?
No, I'm freaking out.
You're freaking out?
Well, no, because I know the kids.
You know the kids? Okay, so you know why we're here for?
Well, we don't know exactly why, but we know why.
Okay.
Because we saw what happened. Well, I saw what happened.
What do you saw?
When the lady came to the door downstairs.
Okay, but so you saw that lady coming to the door?
Yeah, I called the cops. I was one of the ones who called the cops.
You were one of the call cops? Okay. So you saw the female coming to the neighbors?
Down here, yeah. First I heard him and the ruckus down here because they'd opened the door and I couldn't hear what they were saying. And then she came over and then they all went inside and shut the door. And I was calling the cops by then because I saw the blood all over her face. And she was saying my daughter is dead, or they said my daughter's dead.
No one knew how things had spiraled so far out of control, so the detectives circled back to the only people who might.
I'm Officer Mata, Albuquerque Police. So you know, legally you're in my custody. Okay, you're under arrest. I need to detain for the investigation. Okay, so you can put your arm down.
Number 6563.
Okay, I'm gonna put 2 pairs. Okay, that way you can have a little bit more room. Okay. At this point, all I'm gonna do is just Mirandize you. Okay. And I'm not gonna take any statements. I'm just gonna Mirandize you. Okay. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say will or be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to make any statements and not to answer any of my questions at all. Okay? You have a right not to answer any statements And you have a right to an attorney before doing any questioning, okay? You cannot afford one. You cannot afford one will be pointed to you before doing any questioning. Okay, at this point, do you understand your Miranda rights?
Right after this conversation, Jessica asked for a lawyer and refused to talk to the detectives. The only way forward was to talk to Fabian and Michelle.
Okay, so I came home from the store, and me and my boyfriend went to bed because we were tired. So we were sleeping, and then all of a sudden she comes, my roommate, Jessica, she comes into our bedroom and asks me if I believe in God. And as soon as I said yes, that's when she took a raw metal iron and hit me right in the face. That's where I got this.
She asked you if you believed in God?
Yeah, before she hit me with the iron.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was an intent on attempting to kill me, but she tried her darndest to.
Okay.
She hit me with the iron here. She hit me with the iron in the back because I got another cut in the back.
Oh, you do?
With stitches
Okay.
that don't have that much as this one. And then I got a few bumps in the back. And everything because she just kept hitting me, punching me. She hit me twice with the iron.
Okay.
And then she just I tried to get away. And when I got away, she ran after me. She started punching me, pulling my hair. And I couldn't get up, and I was bleeding all over the place. And she ripped my shirt and knotted up my hair and everything. And she just kept fighting me. So then I locked myself in my daughter's room. My daughter wasn't there, but she was supposed to be. And I'm probably gonna get upset.
It's okay.
So I come out of the room, and she took me by the hair again, and she threw me on the floor. And I actually got under her enough to flip her onto the floor so I can get out. But as soon as I got up, she grabbed my hair again, and she took a picture frame and slapped me across the face with it.
Okay.
And then I was working my way towards the door. So as she's pulling my hair, I had to unlock the door and do it that way and open it that way. And I finally got the door pushed open to enough where I could get out and leave her in there. So she had me by my hair, and I'm closing the door, and I almost lock her hand inside the door. But she finally let go. And then when I went out, I was all dizzy and everything from the head injury and everything like that. And as I was going down the steps, she yelled to me, she says, "Your daughter's dead." And I don't know where she's at. So then I went outside, and I met up with my boyfriend at the neighbor's house that called the cops. And then from there we just waited for them to come.
But she was only one part of the conversation here.
Can you tell me where Fabian was in all this?
He was in the bedroom with me, and then he tried to get her off of me, and she started beating on him. And then he finally went out and tried to get one of the neighbors to call the cops, and then which he did. And when he went out, that's when she actually locked the door and tried not to let me out. And then that's when she was starting to do all that other stuff, pull my hair in my daughter's room after I came out and hit me with the picture frame. And then I finally got my way to get out the door.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you by chance remember what time this stuff occurred at?
I would say it was sometime in early morning, 5 maybe, around there. I can't remember the exact time.
Okay, you think around 5?
Yeah, I know it was early morning.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about Fabian, how you met this guy, how long have you known him?
I met him on a dating site.
Okay.
And
What dating site was that?
POF.
What's that?
Plenty of fish.
It's called what?
Plenty of fish.
Plenty of fish? Okay.
And
Okay.
I known him for about 3-4 months.
From the website?
From the website.
Okay. How many times would you say you've met him
I would say about
prior to you guys dating, I guess?
I would say about 4 or 5 times.
Okay, so through the course of your conversation with him on Plenty of Fish, you guys have met 4 or 5 times? Okay. All right. And that was how long ago?
ago, 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay. Can you tell me how many kids you have?
I have 2.
You have 2. How are they?
My daughter's 10. She just turned 10. And my son is 8.
What's their names?
Matthew and Victoria.
Okay. Now, do you know if Fabian has any kids or anything?
He has 2 daughters, I believe.
He does?
He said, yeah. I don't know how old they are, but he
Okay.
said he had 2 daughters, but they're with his mom.
Okay. So you guys have been together for, I mean, including your time dating on the website, about 4 or 5 months.
Mhm.
How long has he been living with you at the apartment?
Oh, he just been there like about a month and a half, 2 months.
Oh, okay. So he's lived with you about a couple months?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. How was you guys' relationship?
It was fine. It was fine until this girl came into it.
When you say this girl, who's that?
Jessica Kelly.
Okay. Well, tell me about her. How did you meet her?
That's actually his cousin.
Okay, so
And-
Jessica's his cousin?
Yeah. And
Okay.
he told me that she had just gotten out of prison and she had no place to stay and everything like that. So I went to go pick him up from her house. Not her house, but from a house that she was at. She was babysitting that person's kids.
Okay.
So I went to go pick him up from there, and
When did you do that?
I would say in June, end of June.
Oh,
It
okay.
has to be like the end of
A
June.
while back. So
Yeah.
that's the first time you met her, essentially? Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. That's right.
And then me being the good person I am, he said that he was telling me she had no place to go, that if she can stay with me for a while until she gets back up on her feet, because she had a job interview set up and everything, and
Okay.
that once she gets a job and saves up money, she's gonna go out and get her own apartment. So me, the kindness I am, I was like, sure, why not?
Little did she know, this one decision would be the end of her own daughter.
That's all I know that he does.
And Michelle, just remember the questions. We're not here to get you
No, I know.
in trouble. We're not here to get him in trouble.
I know.
We've been talking to Fabian for a while, okay? And he's given us a lot of information,
Mhm.
all right? About what happened, about the things that he's been doing, about the things that you've been doing, that type of stuff. So just remember, just be very, very honest, because it's gonna help us solve this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay? So I just want to remind you that, because I don't want you to get stuck on being dishonest when we already have a lot of the story of what happened.
You know, I
Okay.
mean, if you, again, that's all I'm here for is answers. You know, if you lie about the smallest things about ingesting, any type of drugs,
Mhm.
right? And we're looking at something else, but just a little thing about, okay, yeah, I may have taken drugs, but I'm gonna lie to him about taking it, it doesn't look good. So I'm just asking,
Just
be transparent and honest. If I ask you a question about, did you ingest any drugs? Did Fabian ingest any drugs, vice versa? You know what I'm saying? I just want honest truth.
Okay.
Okay, because again, we've talked to him and he's given us a lot of information, so that's why I'm asking you.
Mhm.
All right, you guys, I guess you can kind of look at it as follow. We're following up on his interview with you,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
So that's all,
Mhm.
So would it be fair to say that you guys have taken or, have consumed drugs in the apartment with him? Because I know that he does have a history.
He's asked me to, and I said no,
Asked you to do what?
to smoke weed with him.
Okay.
And I said no. And he's also asked me to do a line, and I said no.
But his drug of choice is meth.
Yeah.
So
As far
we
as-
already know that. And do you
Yeah.
understand what I mean, Michelle? You really
Yeah.
don't get yourself hemmed up on this, okay?
Yeah.
We're here to help you,
Okay.
okay? Because we know a lot from talking to Fabian. Fabian was honest. It took him a while, but he was honest about what happened to your daughter, about what you guys did, about what you found, okay? He was honest. So don't get yourself hemmed up over these little issues, okay? We already know that he's tried to get you to do meth. We already know that you guys have done meth together. We already know this.
I didn't do that.
Not you doing it, but him doing it in front of you. We
Yeah.
already know, okay? So try not to get yourself in that. Don't get spun up in lies.
Okay.
So yeah,
With that, Michelle knew there was no way out. She had to tell them the truth. So it was time to talk about how that night went. specifically what led Jessica to act the way she did.
So that night, okay, you stated that you guys ate dinner, right? What did you guys eat?
We had tacos with beef and potatoes and sour cream.
Okay. And about what time did you guys go to bed, would you say?
It was about midnight, maybe 12:15, 1 o'clock.
Okay, and from the time that you ate dinner to the time you went to sleep, how was Jessica's demeanor?
It was kind of fishy because she like couldn't sit still. She was like constantly getting up, going out on the balcony having cigarettes, and just like staring at the TV, and just like she just couldn't sit still. And she was like pacing back and forth around the house.
Did anything happen that was odd, I can say, prior to you guys going to sleep that night?
Not that I can think. She was talking to me all normal, and just I asked her if she was hungry, and then that's when Fabian made the tacos, and everything was normal like during the beginning of the day, because she was talking to me like as if we were friends.
Oh, okay. Just like
nothing.
Okay, but then you said that she was acting fishy.
Later on towards that night.
And describe that.
Like just constantly going in and out of the house. Like she would go into my son's room, go back into the living room, and then she would stand there and watch TV and say that the TV is a curse and everything.
She was saying the TV is a curse?
Because the stuff that they were playing on there, and it was the news.
Okay.
So I was just a little like worried. I was like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And she said yes. So I just left it at that, and I didn't say anything else after that.
Okay. Did you see her taking any type of drugs that day?
I didn't see her, no.
Do you know if she did?
By the way she was acting, she might have.
Okay.
But I don't know what was.
All right. So then you stayed, and you and Fabian go to sleep, correct? Between 12:15 and 1. All right. Where are you guys at? Where are you guys located in the apartment?
We were on this side in the master bedroom.
In the master bedroom. Okay. You said Jessica was staying there. Where was she staying? Where was she sleeping? Give me some.
Well, when my son wasn't there, she was sleeping on his bed. But when he was there, she would sleep on the couch.
Okay.
In the living room, which is right next to the master bedroom.
So let me ask you this: where did she sleep? I guess last night.
On the couch.
She slept on the couch. Okay. Do you know if she went to sleep right away? Do you know if you can hear? I know you guys said you went to sleep, but can you tell me if you guys have heard any like TV or music or anything, indicating that she may still be awake? You guys hear anything like
before I went to bed, I did hear the TV in the living room, because we had our TV on too in the master bedroom, but she had hers louder than ours in the living room. And then when I dozed off, it's like I didn't hear anything, and then I kept waking up. So I woke up about 2, 3 o'clock.
Okay.
But I didn't go out of the bedroom. I stayed in the bedroom.
Okay.
And went to the bathroom, and then I just went right back and laid down in the bed.
So you said between 2 and 3 you went to the bathroom? Which bathroom?
The master bathroom, which is inside the master bedroom.
Okay. So between 2 and 3 you woke up and went to the bathroom? All right. Did you hear anything when you went up?
The TV's still on, that's about it. I didn't hear her walking around or... So I don't know if she was up because my door was closed.
And that's when Jessica just flipped.
You go to bed. All right. Tell me what's the next thing that you remember?
The next thing I remember is her coming into the bedroom, asking me if I believe in God, and as soon as I said yes, I have an iron to my face.
Okay, so tell me about that. Were you asleep? And how did you know she came in the bedroom?
Because she came in, and then she was standing like right over my side of the bed, and she asked me, "Do you believe in God?" And like still half asleep, I was like, "Yes." And all of a sudden, she just like, boom, and then that's how I got that. And then from there on, it was just I was trying to fight back, and I couldn't.
So you were still laying in bed?
Mm-hmm.
And she came to your side?
Mm-hmm. She was standing over my side of the bed.
So which side? So if I'm looking at the bed,
mm-hmm.
do you sleep on the right side or
on
left
side? on the right side.
So you sleep on the right side, is that the side closest to the bed, the
The bathroom, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
and she came on that side?
Mhm.
Okay, did you hear her come into the room, or?
I did not.
So at what point did you know that she was there?
When she asked me if I believed in God, because then I woke up a little bit and I turned over to her and I said yes, and then I turned back over to Fabian, and then that's when she called me.
Which one? Was it this one or the one?
Both of them. It was both of them because
Which one did she get you first though? Is what I'm asking.
I think it's the back one. I think it was the back one because I was sleeping towards Fabian,
Mhm.
and the back one is the one that got me first, and then when I turned around, she hit me again.
Okay, so when you looked at Fabian, were you still laying in the bed?
Yes.
Okay.
But Jessica wasn't done yet.
Now tell me what happened when she hit you in the front of the head.
And I went like this, and I saw all the blood on my hand and everything.
Was it bleeding pretty bad?
Yeah, it was. I got all over my socks, my shirt, and everything.
Did blood get on your bed?
I'm not sure. I didn't see because I just got up and tried to get out. So I walked out the room, but then that's when she grabbed me by my shirt and ripped my shirt and started punching me and just beating the heck out of me. Pulling my hair and everything.
Okay, so you get up.
Mhm.
Where's Fabian at this point?
Fabian got up and tried to get her off of me, saying, "Jessica, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And she hit him too.
Okay.
And I guess after she hit him, she came back to me and she told me that Fabian left, and then me and her were just in the house because he left to go get the neighbors to call the cops.
Where did he go?
He went out the front door,
He went out the front door.
which I tried to get out and she wouldn't let me get out.
Okay, so he went out the front door?
Mm-hmm.
What time, you say?
I would say maybe 5:30.
Okay. Around 5:30?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what happened to what she hit you with?
I don't know. I didn't see it because she had my head down the whole time because she had my hair. She had my head down, just kept hitting me with this, hitting me with that, and then ramming my head into the table, trying to choke me out, trying to just make me not breathe, and it was horrible.
She rammed your head into which table?
The table in the living room. There's a little dining room table. It's
Okay.
right there next to the living room.
Right.
She hit it on the leg there, and then
Hit your head?
yeah,
Okay.
she banged it, and I guess that's where those bumps came from.
Okay.
And then I have another little table there that I think I might have bumped my head by mistake when she pushed me down with her knee. She had her knee on my neck. And then that's when I finally got the chance to pull her under and try and get out. And I finally got up and worked my way towards the door.
Okay, well, did you ever go into the kitchen at all?
I did.
You did?
I did,
Tell me
to
about
try and get away from her. And I went into the kitchen and then she's like, come on. She's like, come on, we're gonna go pray. And I says, no. I was like, Jessica, stop. I was like, get away from me. And she was like, come on. And then she grabbed me and then she grabbed my hair again and just started beating me again. It's horrible.
It was at this moment that Michelle first heard of the possibility that Victoria may not be okay, and it all started making sense to her.
Did you ever ask her anything about your daughter?
As I was going out and going down the stairs, and she says my daughter's dead, but I don't know where she put her.
Where did you put her?
And because when me and Fabian were coming home, I saw her carrying my daughter outside the house.
Really?
And I asked her, where is she going? She's like, I was gonna take her with me. I was like, where? And she didn't answer me. So I thought my daughter was just sleeping because it was about the time where she was to go to bed. And then after all this, and then after I made my way out to the porch and working my way down the stairs to go try and knock on the neighbors' doors, she's like, by the way, his daughter's dead.
Okay, so just to help me understand.
Okay.
I know this is a lot for you, and again, I'm so sorry.
No.
Okay, you've been through hell.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but I just want to kind of go back. You mentioned that, was it the day before this incident or the night before this incident, you saw Jessica carrying?
It was the same day. This is all on the same day during the
Okay,
day.
so this morning, you went over with Fabian around 5. So that's what I'm trying to get a good timeline. All right. How long before that did you see her carrying your daughter? And how do you know it was your daughter?
Because we went to the store, me and Phoebe, we went to the store, and then we came back, and it was around, I would say maybe 5:30.
6, between
Around there.
5:30 6.
Because it was still daylight out.
So today's the 24th. So you're talking about tomorrow or yesterday on Tuesday?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yes.
So
Yes,
yesterday,
returned the
Tuesday,
yeah.
the 23rd.
Yes.
Around what time?
5:30, 6 o'clock.
You and Fabian went to the store?
Yeah, and then
Which store?
we went to the Giant.
But something wasn't adding up here.
The worst thing to do right now is lying about something small because then it looks like you're lying about other things. Okay. I'm just asking you to be honest.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna let you explain and hopefully tell me the truth on what you guys are really doing.
We came from his uncle's house
Okay.
over there in the South Valley.
And okay.
And we were hanging out there for a while.
Okay.
And then we ran our way back because Jessica was supposed to pick up my daughter from the bus. And I got a text from my neighbor
Okay.
saying that Victoria was at her house because she was trying to get a hold of me. I was like, okay, well, I'm coming right there. And then I told Fabian that she didn't go pick her up from the bus. That's when we left and we started heading home.
Okay.
And then once we got home from there, like from the time that she went to the house, from the neighbor's house, because my daughter went up to the house when Jessica was in the house because she knocked on the door and Jessica let her in.
You mean before you guys showed up?
Yeah, because the neighbor told me that she went into the house.
Okay.
And so she went in there, and then from the time that until the time that me and Fabian pulled up, because it's a good maybe half hour, 45 minutes before, or maybe depending on the traffic, from his uncle's house to my house.
Okay.
We pulled up, and that's when I seen her walking down the stairs with my daughter in her hands.
And you knew something was wrong with your daughter.
I knew something. I thought she was sleeping, but I didn't.
Michelle,
But I knew.
listen, I'm a mom,
I know.
okay? And you're a mom,
Mhm.
okay? And let me just tell you something. Use your When there is something wrong with your child, you know it.
Mhm.
And you already knew that something bad had happened. And so did Fabian. Because we talked to him. Okay? So you need to be honest.
The detectives had to press harder. Michelle wasn't going to give them the truth voluntarily.
When did you first know that there was something wrong?
When I saw her coming down the stairs with her in her arms.
Okay.
And then when I went back upstairs, she took blankets from my son's room and put them in the washing machine.
Mhm.
So I thought that it smelled like pee because my son has a problem wetting the bed
Mhm.
at night. So she's like, yeah, I'm just gonna wash them.
But you guys, you need to back up.
Mhm.
When you went and checked on her. When you went and checked on your daughter.
Mhm.
Tell me about that.
I went into the room and she wasn't there.
Okay, and where was she?
I don't know, she hit the body.
No, where was she? We're not gonna go down this path.
Mhm.
We're not gonna go down the path of you lying, okay? Where was she?
In her room.
Okay? And then when you guys moved her to the bathroom,
Mhm.
tell me about that.
I moved her to the bathroom.
Your daughter,
Michelle, listen. You need to be honest about everything.
okay?
Okay. The more you lie or say I don't know, it's not gonna help you.
Mhm.
Okay. Fabian's already opened up about everything
Mhm.
and about how you were, your involvement as well as Jessica's. Okay. We're just asking for the truth.
I didn't even go in, I swear to God, I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
I didn't take my daughter into the bathroom.
So Michelle, here's the deal. You know that your daughter, there's something terribly wrong.
Mhm.
You knew that. And you also helped clean up in the kitchen and in her bedroom. We already know that. Okay? And you're a good mom. You're a good mom. And you've taken care of those kids. You love those kids. But you got put in a really bad spot. You did.
I did.
Yeah, see, that's all we're asking. Let's just explain.
Yeah.
You know, we understand that you were at the wrong place, wrong time, and you know, you and your daughter are victims.
Yeah.
But we need to know the truth. You know, we need to know everything.
And we know that you got put in a spot to where it was either go along with what they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
or, I mean, you could get hurt too.
And that's what I was afraid of, because I didn't want to get hurt,
Okay.
and I didn't want my daughter to get hurt.
Okay, but your daughter did get hurt.
She did.
Okay. So, let's start from there, okay? So when you went in and you found your daughter, tell me about that.
I just saw her laying there.
Okay.
Where was she in her bedroom?
Yes.
Where was she laying?
On her bed.
Okay, so tell us about that, because we know you didn't just look in and just take a peek.
I did.
Listen, be honest, this is your daughter. If I thought something was wrong with my son or daughter, I'm not gonna just peek. I'm gonna be a concerned parent, and I'm gonna do everything I can to figure out what's going on. Okay? Listen, Michelle. It's obvious to us, all right, that you are withholding certain things because you're scared, and I understand that. I get it. You know, this lady, she's a scary lady.
Yeah.
And the guy that you met is not a good guy. Okay.
And I feel like they were setting me up.
Well, listen. So we need to know the truth and what happened. Okay. I truly believe that you're a victim in all this, and that you really know exactly what happened to your daughter, because Fabian's already opened up to it.
Yeah.
We just need you to clarify some things and just to shed light on what really happened. Whether you're scared or not, we're here to protect you. All right? And that's all we're here for. We just need to know what happened. That's it. That's all I'm asking.
And I don't know exactly what happened. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know what happened.
So Michelle, let me ask you some questions, and maybe that'll kind of help. Who moved her from the bedroom to the bathroom?
Jessica did.
Jessica did. Okay. And when she did, what did she do with her clothes?
I don't know where her clothes were at.
Okay, about what time did you see her move Victoria to the bathroom? What time did you see that? What time did that happen at?
About 7:30
p.m.? So the day before?
No,
So-
the same day.
Right.
That
So
night.
let me
Yeah,
ask you
that
this. This is after you saw her walking down, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you saw Jessica put her in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because when we pulled up, she went right back upstairs.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you this. When you guys went back upstairs, did you see her put Victoria back into her bedroom, or did she just put her in the bathroom and run away?
Put her in the bathroom.
So you saw her put her in the bathroom. Okay. Now what went through your mind?
I was like, well, what's going on? And then it's like, I usually don't use that bathroom, and when I went in there, I didn't.
Michelle, you already knew that she was dead. You knew that. And I'm sorry, honey, but you gotta be honest. Okay? And I know it's hard. But you knew she was.
Right.
What we need to know is, what was the conversation about what you guys were gonna do with her? Or not you, because I know that you were trying to stop it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
But Jessica and Fabian made the decision that they were gonna get rid of her. Michelle.
Michelle, listen. You.
Michelle. You know that I'm serious because you were a part of that conversation.
You need to open up and be honest about it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just asking you to be honest, all right? Because we know now that we already knew, but you just also stated, we know that you saw her put her in the bathroom. Okay. So we also know that you didn't go to bed after that and just be like, oh, I have no idea what happened or anything like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've been inside the apartment.
Yeah.
All right. I've seen all of the evidence. I've seen everything. Okay? I know that what you say took place in your bedroom didn't actually take place in the bedroom. And also Fabian, he clarified that. Okay? So we just need you to clarify exactly what happened and what this conversation was. Because I know, all right?
I don't recall the conversation.
Well, again,
Do you need some tissue? Let me go grab it.
First asking you to be honest. That's it. You're sitting here for a reason. I understand, yes, it's your daughter, but you knew she was dead.
I didn't know he had partaken in it. I really didn't. I thought it was just Jessica.
And she had one more trick up her sleeve.
What we don't really understand is they're saying that you're more involved, Fabian, that you also talked about getting rid of her, how you guys were gonna do it.
did not.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. He's trying to make this about you,
And
that
it's
you
not.
did this.
I
Okay.
couldn't do this.
I know that, but I also know that you went into the bathroom. I also know that you saw her. I know that you questioned him and Jessica about what happened. So you need to be honest about that, because all we have is a story that he's given right now.
And again, I've seen it. So this is the thing. Evidence is huge, right? You can say all you want, right? But I've been in the apartment. We have all the evidence in the world that's so far is contradicting what you said.
Yeah.
Okay, and you just nodded your head, yes. I'm just asking for honesty, okay? Because again, what Fabian said so far is matching up with the evidence. You know what I'm saying? And as far as who's involved, and again, he's bringing your name up as far as being involved, talking about, disposing and doing other things, that we just need to get answered, okay? Because it's obvious. I go, look in the apartment. It's obvious that certain things were cleaned up. I saw it. All right? And he said you guys partook in that along with Jessica.
I didn't partake in it.
Okay.
I'm promising you.
Well, then you need to explain exactly what happened. This is your opportunity. All right? No matter how bad it sounds in your mind, okay? Because I know you're probably like, oh man, this does not look good. This is my daughter. Even though I may have not had may have not participated in killing her, right? It's still, she's dead. She's in the bathtub, and you know what's going on. This is your opportunity to explain yourself.
What she didn't know at that time was that they told Fabian the same thing.
I would have known.
Let me explain something to you. Look, we can see a lot of the puzzle, okay?
Okay.
Maybe a lot more than you think we can. And we've talked to a lot of people over at the apartment complex.
That's fine. And they like me too, and they know.
Yep. Nobody had anything bad to say about you. Unfortunately, the way apartments are, they're like paper thin walls, and you can hear everything that's going on. So because of that, because we've talked to so many people and they've laid out for us what they heard, what they saw, what they smelled, all these type of things, I have no doubt in my mind that you and Michelle were in the apartment when Victoria died. I have no doubt in my mind.
How would we know something?
Or but we can even change it up a little bit, or that the injuries that we're seeing on her, at least some of them were sustained while you were in the apartment.
Well, we didn't hear it though. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, we didn't hear that then.
Okay.
There's no, because I wouldn't. Trust me, we would have heard it.
I just to maybe put your mind at ease.
As confused as he was acting here, they didn't have time for that. The detectives were willing to do anything they needed to get the information out of him.
We want to find out how she sustained the injuries that she did. We want to figure out what happened, okay?
Fabian was doing everything in his power to stick with the story that he didn't know what happened.
I'm just going to come out, like I told you, I'm going to be honest with you, man to man. Victoria is dead.
Are you kidding me?
Sir, I would not joke about that. Unfortunately, there's nothing funny about saying that. I'm being 100% serious with you, okay?
And we're really sorry, to have to tell you this. And but did you ever smell smoke in the apartment?
Fabian, tell me what you're thinking right now, bro. That's what I mean when I need you to do right by Victoria and you need to tell me what's up, you know what I mean? She didn't deserve what happened to her, you know what I mean? We're trying to help her out.
Michelle, neither none of us deserve that.
Say that again, bro, I'm sorry.
Michelle, neither none of us deserve that.
I agree. So can you tell me what happened?
I don't know. I thought everything was fine, like I explained to you. And like I said, we should have checked just again, or I should have just checked.
Okay, well, Fabian, here's the problem that we're having right
And
now.
the thing is, I didn't, Michelle, this doesn't sound real to me, guys. This is like, there's no way.
And so I know this isn't easy for you,
There's,
but let me just tell you,
this can't be happening, guys.
without giving you too much detail, she was tortured. The injuries that she has sustained, and then there was also smoke in the apartment from a fire. That's what I was asking. Did you smell smoke when you guys were fighting?
Well, no. When the cop kicked the door open, that's when I seen smoke. We seen smoke in the cop. We didn't see smoke when I got out of there. And Michelle said she didn't mention anything about any smoke when we got safe. But the door was locked when the cop was saying, "Just go open the door at the APD," this and that. And then so we ended up kicking it open, and then we heard a smoke alarm. And we seen smoke in there. That's the only time.
Now, why I'm talking to you is that, like I said, dude, I'm not here to judge you, okay? But I do have a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're a bad guy or that you f***ed up or you're this or you're that. I'm not going to do that. Because you know what? I sit in here with people all the time who are normal human beings.
Yeah.
And like I said, we find ourselves in situations all the time that we don't expect to be in, that we don't mean to be a part of, that we react to poorly, all those type of things. And so here's a real issue that we're having, Fabian. This detective here was telling you that some of the injuries that Victoria sustained were quite horrific, okay? And the manner in which they would have had to be inflicted or done, it would go without saying that if somebody was in that apartment and that was happening, there's no way that anybody in the apartment wouldn't know that it was happening.
We would have known. Me and
Okay.
Michelle would have known that.
Okay.
But like I said, when she came down the stairs, Victoria, we just thought she was asleep in her arms. That's exactly what we thought. She turned around right away. That's when we looked at each other and we kind of didn't feel it right a little bit. We just go back up there. But then that's when Jessica said, I laid her back down in the room. She's asleep, and I didn't see no like blood or anything or nothing wrong because maybe the blanket was covered in.
So let me just clarify something. You saw her legs hanging out of a
No,
blanket?
her feet, like just her
Okay.
feet, and then her.
So it happened after that. Her injuries. Some of her injuries for sure happened after that because I can tell you that her injuries now, you would not have seen her leg sticking out of the blanket. So when I say that she was,
I think it's not her leg. We just seen her feet.
well, you wouldn't have seen her foot hanging
Like
out.
that,
She's now does not have one leg attached to her body.
What?
So like I said, her injuries, they happened over a period of time while you guys were in the apartment.
No, there's no way. There's no way that happened. That's crazy, man. We would have heard that. We would.
So here's the other issue.
So how? So you're saying that me and Michelle didn't hear that?
Well, I'm just trying to explain maybe
That's
why
crazy.
you wouldn't have heard it, and that's why we asked about the drugs.
Well, no,
and
we were
the-
drinking. Me and her, we were drinking. That's what I'm saying, alcohol. And then we ended up just falling asleep because we were tired. You know what I mean? So we ended up just crashing out,
Fabian,
thinking that Victoria was okay and asleep, like Jessica said. And she usually does go to sleep.
Well, you didn't say anything about drinking before, did you?
Yeah, I said grab her a cup because we went to go get a couple of drinks and we're having a couple of drinks and
Okay.
uncles, remember?
It was clear to the detectives he knew more than he was willing to tell them, so they used a classic tactic, taking things back to the beginning and seeing if the story changes. They were hoping he'd slip up.
so talk to me about the blood in the kitchen. Let's start something basic. Talk to me about the blood that was in the kitchen when you guys went up there. Just talk to me about that.
Well, when she started hitting Michelle like that, I jumped up and I was real scared. Like, Michelle started bleeding right away, everywhere, you know, because she cared about the damn iron, you know. So then that's whenever the fight started going everywhere, and then she started hitting her again more, like towards when we went inside the kitchen, and like a lot more, and just getting blood everywhere by hitting Michelle, okay? And it was coming off of Michelle, and I was like, quit, stop. And then that's why I was just finding out that's when she started doing that again, and I couldn't get it, like really, and she hit me with it. I tried to go to the front door right away, you know, and like maybe Michelle's smart enough to try to run in the kitchen a little bit and get away a little bit more away from it and try to block the head a little more while I try to get out or call for help. Okay, so no, that didn't happen. That's when Jessica came and see me, like, this is all happening all right away, like a fight, you know, super fast. And that's when she stopped me and then kind of pushed me again and said, no.
So help me understand something. This was at 1:40, correct?
This is.
That's what you told us a couple minutes ago.
Well, this is when we woke up, okay? I'm gonna tell you the truth, I don't know exactly the time because I didn't check the time. I was too worried about trying to save our lives, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so that's when she's like, oh, help me clean the blood, help me clean the blood. We're like, okay, well, stop doing what you're doing now because we're just agreeing with her because we're scared as hell.
And so there's already blood in the kitchen?
No, from Michelle.
And then it started in the bedroom? And she was bleeding in the bedroom?
Yes.
Where did you see blood in the bedroom?
Well, I didn't see blood in the bedroom. I just know when she hit her face started bleeding all right away, like kept gushing.
Oh, gushing.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's when I jumped up and I was trying to stop it. You know what I mean? Get Jessica off her, but Jessica was hitting me and trying to more. Like, it was scary. I'm telling you guys, if you guys would went through what I went
I
through.
don't think there was any blood in the bedroom. Was there? There was no blood in the bedroom.
There was no blood.
No blood in the hallway on the way to the kitchen. No blood from the bedroom to the kitchen. Just blood in the kitchen, and lots of it.
Well, that's when she was hitting Michelle perfect. I don't know. Maybe she didn't bleed right away, but I know when she hit Michelle in the bed, it looked like she hit her right perfect in the face like that. But like I said, she woke us up and told us that, and I was barely starting to get her to wake up and get everything in focus, you know. And
So here's the thing. We were very specific on saying that Michelle was bleeding a lot in the bed.
Yes.
There's no blood on the bed. Here's the thing.
In the bed.
Yeah, there's no blood in the bedroom.
Maybe but that's when she first started getting hit. I don't know, but I'm just saying this is what I thought, okay? Because when I seen her in the kitchen, she was bloody, okay? You guys are like, trying to say that I'm
not judging. I'm just listening.
I'm just trying to figure this out myself too. It happened all so fast. I was scared. Okay.
And so are we. I mean, we're trying to figure it out.
And she was hitting Michelle, so I was thinking maybe that's where the blood came from, because you guys were asking about that. So maybe I didn't see the blood, okay? But I did see it in the kitchen everywhere when she was hitting her again, back in the back of the head and in the face, and I was trying to stop it. Okay, yes, I did. And that's when I tried to go to the door, and that's when she tried stopping me. She started hitting me and trying to get me, you know? And that's when she thought, well, I'll be clean up this blood, and then I'll be, because you just told me to, And we're like, well, okay, that was a big guy, right there, just trying to do her, okay, just get to stop, okay.
Fabian, can I just ask you this outright?
Yes, go ahead.
Just gonna ask you as straight as I possibly can. Did Jessica help you? Did Jessica threaten you and Michelle and make you guys help her clean up Victoria's body?
No. We thought Victoria was asleep. No way.
Because you keep telling me you're scared for your life, Michelle's scared. And I believe you.
Yes.
I believe you. But somewhere in the mix of this whole crazy story you're telling me, there's a dead 10-year-old girl who was murdered. Alright, so listen to me. Again, without getting too specific, the condition that we found Victoria's body in, one person could not have done that to another person in any short amount of time. It would have taken a very long time. It would have been very loud. It would have been very messy. And we have 2 other apartments right next to you that are describing sounds that would be exactly what we would expect from that type of incident.
That's fine.
And you're saying you're in the other room and that you don't hear anything? So the only other option would be is that you're awake and you're aware of what's going on. And if listen. And if she's threatening you guys,
she didn't threaten us. She didn't say nothing about Victoria at all. She was attacking me and Michelle. Nothing was said about Victoria because we thought she was okay. asleep in the bedroom.
What he didn't know is that while they may have been alone in that apartment, they weren't the only ones in the area.
Fabian,
I don't know.
we have witnesses that within minutes of hearing Victoria scream, heard you speaking to Jessica, specifically you speaking to Jessica.
Speaking of Jessica, I was trying to, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
No, Fabian.
Okay,
Fabian,
what are you trying to say? This is crazy,
Let me
man.
explain to you. Let me explain to you.
Oh,
This detective just said it, Fabian.
Okay.
That you're not necessarily going to be in trouble, okay? Our job right here is to uncover the truth. Our job right now is to bring justice to Victoria.
Of course.
We need to figure out exactly what happened to her because she deserves it.
I know she does, sir.
So the only people that can help us with that is her mom,
And me.
you, and Jessica.
Yes.
This is when the detectives got a lot more direct with him than they had been this whole time.
If for what reason would we find your DNA on Victoria, on her body, on her clothes, or even inside of her body? And I know that sounds horrible, but I have to ask the question.
No. Hell no. No, man. That's crazy, man. And I know you have to ask that question.
Yeah, we just have to ask.
No damn way.
Any reason I'm gonna find any of your DNA in her fingernails from her fighting with you or scratching you?
Jessica. That's right. I'm telling you right now, that's the only one I can think of right now because she's the one that wouldn't try to do that to us. She tried killing us for Christ's sakes. I wouldn't do something like that to nobody, no matter what situation or what. I just never even thought like that. I don't have it in me. Okay, I would never do something like that. I just don't got it in me. I'm not built like that. I never have been. Okay.
There were a lot of holes in his story, things he didn't even think they would notice.
Jessica's or my baby. I don't think it was my
You
baby.
should have, if you didn't shower, a lot of blood on your
Shower.
smears, and your nails are very clean. Your
I was
hands
cleaning
look
them in
clean.
there, just trying to get them out. But what I'm saying is, I ran to the sprinkler that I was soaking wet when I knocked on that door.
Well, isn't the apartment that you went to? It's right next to yours. It's in that court. So the
Yes, but when I
sprinklers
jumped
don't.
off, I ran in the back of the wrong because I was scared. I didn't know that she had people like she threatened me, saying that they're coming for me. They should be there for me any minute. She told me that's scary. That scared me too. Okay, along with everything else. So I ran in the back and the sprinklers were all on, and I was just running through the whole sprinklers all the way around just to see if she had someone waiting for me, and she didn't. So I was like, yeah, ran to the damn neighbors. I thought it was her, that girl with the glasses, but I picked the wrong one. I went, you know what I mean? Went on top.
Okay. Did you have shoes on?
No,
What were on your feet?
my socks.
Where-
And I just had one sock on when I made it to the neighbors, the one that actually finally actually called.
Mm-hmm.
Because my other one, it was on the balcony. And I know how I lost that. I was fighting with Jessica. She was trying to grab things from me in here, and I was trying to swing at her and tell her, get away from me, kid. You're in trouble. What the f you do?
And so where's the other sock that you were wearing?
I thought it was on the balcony. That's time where I seen it because she stepped on me, and I kind of like went, and I was fighting with her, and it came
So
off.
one sock's on the balcony, and where's the other one?
The other one's in the trash can where me and her threw our socks away because they were all soaking wet and we were cold. So she threw her socks away in the 407 apartment. And then she's like, baby, you couldn't throw your socks away. I was like, yeah, might as well. They could even know tell you what happened too.
Do they have any blood on them? The socks?
Michelle's? Yeah.
Okay. And what about yours?
No.
Okay, whose blood will be on the socks?
Probably Michelle's, that's it. So,
Probably Michelle.
Yeah, I didn't, like, to tell you the truth, when she woke us up and told us that weird thing, and then started attacking Michelle, when Michelle said that, I'm gonna tell you, be honest right now, I don't know if there was blood in there, but I know when I went to bed, the kitchen was clean. Okay? That's what I know. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But, because I was everywhere, I was trying to, like, you know what I mean? And I wasn't paying attention, you know what I mean? But I know when she was hitting Michelle, blood, right there, there was blood coming from Michelle. There had to have been there. I seen it, you know what I mean? Coming when she was hitting her. It was all over Michelle.
Fabian wouldn't budge. People who are guilty sometimes stick to a very specific version of events, one that makes them look innocent as possible. At this point in the interrogation, the detectives changed the narrative to something that would make him believe his plan was finally working.
I see a guy who, and you've only really known each other for 3 weeks, really? Yeah, it was a good 3 weeks. But like, do you really love her in 3 weeks? And she's already let
I
you. Hold
wasn't
on,
in love with her,
listen.
but yeah.
But
I love her 'cause she helped me.
Michelle's already letting you sleep in her bed, and she has
Yeah.
kids. I mean, how many other guys does she have there romping in the sack in her apartment? I mean, I think just for the hold on, just let me talk. Now it's my turn to talk. Okay, I'm just saying, you know, Michelle should set a good example for her kids. And so if she lets you sleep over there, how many other guys is she letting sleep over there?
I mean, I
And
thought that in my
really-
head too.
You what?
I thought that in my head too, but I
Right.
didn't make it
So, well,
a big problem because I
So
thought
do you
that-
really have a lot of respect for her? Because if she's sleeping with you that quick, how much is she, you
Well,
know,
of course
banging
I
other
do.
guys?
That didn't matter to me, and I trusted her word. But I would, of course, remember me, I was gonna think that because
Right.
how would you do? How would
So
you
now
explain
there's
it?
kids, right? There's kids in the apartment, not setting a good example. There's a guy sleeping in her bed, new guy. Now, Victoria, like,
Jordan and Matthew never told me that. Those other guys, I've never heard that from them.
okay, well, I'm just saying, this is what kids are gonna see growing up. So then,
She told me that.
okay.
You know, she hasn't been with a guy for almost a year or whatever for a long time.
I'm just saying that's just, you know. So,
I believe it. I mean, I still do.
But you're describing to me that you guys have had a great relationship.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 3-week relationship. Okay, so given that, and given that you've only known Victoria for 3 weeks, and you say she loves you, does she really love you? Because she doesn't
Well,
really know
that's
you.
what her mom would say. Oh, my kids are really cool with you.
She probably thinks you're great.
Yeah.
But
and
does
that's
she
what
love
would
you?
say. But I mean,
Probably.
I'm not expecting real love. I mean,
Okay,
I love me as a
so-
person, okay? And then slowly, we
Right.
stay together long enough. Yeah, get to love me like that. That's
Okay.
what I mean.
Okay.
But this wasn't playing out the way Fabian hoped. The more he talked, the worse it looked.
The fact that you're getting your ass beat by some chick in the apartment, and you run off and leave a little girl and your girlfriend in the apartment with a crazy chick with a freaking iron.
See, I didn't know if there was any more people there. That's why I just wanted to hurry up.
So you were looking after your own ass. So what I'm saying now is freaking be a man
I am.
and tell it, because this is what I'm gonna say. Like I said, I don't want to hurt your feelings,
Right.
but I want you to be a strong enough man to say, I'm not gonna let her hurt my feelings. I'm gonna tell her what really happened, because you're full of shit. Okay? No offense. The story that you're giving isn't matching up to our scene. If we can
Bullshit.
explain it, it makes sense. It doesn't mean you're in trouble or did anything wrong.
I
Me,
understand.
I'm not personally judging you. I could give two shits, okay?
I understand.
But I'm telling you what it looks like and what it's gonna look like to anybody else.
Yeah,
And what
very
you're
well.
telling us, it's not matching up.
Okay, so what's not matching up
Well,
now?
let's start with this, Fabian. We're talking to your girl right now,
Okay.
and you said at any point tonight, did you go into Victoria's room? Did you look in there, open the door? Did you ever go into Victoria's room?
No.
Okay.
No.
So right off the bat, either you or Michelle is full of shit. Because according to Michelle, the fight that you're describing with you, Jess, and Michelle
Oh
didn't
yeah.
take place in
Yeah.
the kitchen.
Remember I told you after the kitchen, that's when she was trying to yell for Victoria to try to check on her too. It's recorded. I said that.
No, you
Remember?
said that you guys were yelling for Victoria and that you never could go
Getting
over
out
there
by the
because
door.
Jess was in the room. According to Michelle, you three were fighting physically in Victoria's bedroom. All three of you, all inside the bedroom.
Fabian's nice guy that just happened to be there act was falling apart fast.
So either you or Michelle is lying to us. Because according to Michelle, the fight that you're describing happened in Victoria's room at some point during the fight, and you were there. You were in the bedroom.
Yes, I was trying to pull Jessica off.
So you were
While
in
she was yelling for
hang on.
Victoria.
So answer me this, yes or no? You were in Victoria's bedroom tonight.
I was
Yes or no, you were in you
pulling Jessica off and trying to break up the fight.
I don't
yes.
want an explanation.
Yes.
You were in Victoria's
Yes,
room.
trying
Okay.
to break up the fight.
So then answer
my
me
cousin
this.
off her.
Okay. So why, let's go back for the last 2.5 hours we've been together.
Okay.
Why have you lied to us this whole time and insisted that at no point did you ever open the door to Victoria's room or go in Victoria's room, and now you're saying you were in the room? Explain that to me.
I misunderstood, okay? But I remember telling you that a while back, that the fight did get to Victoria's room when she was screaming for Victoria.
No.
You said that you were yelling verbally for Victoria, but you guys could never get near her room because Jess would never let you get near the room.
Well, she was chasing me, and that's when I kind of it all happened real fast, and that's when Michelle tried to hurry up and go over there and check on her. Jessica rushed her again, and kind of threw her in there, and she was yelling for Victoria.
Was Victoria in the bedroom?
I thought she was
Was Victoria in the bedroom? Was Victoria in the bedroom?
I didn't see. I wasn't paying. I was trying to grab Jessica.
So
off.
did you see Victoria in the bedroom?
No.
What did you see in the bedroom?
I seen the light off and the TV on, and she yelling and me and her like yelling, saying, "Please!" And Jessica went. She was still hitting her with that thing, and then, you know, and then after that is when finally I just got the iron for Jessica on the patio.
Okay, let's stay where we're at. Did you guys clean up blood in Victoria's room?
I know.
Who cleaned up the blood in Victoria's room?
Jessica probably, not us. There's no way me and her did that because we were trying to hurry up and get help, emergency help. I'm lucky I even got away.
Where's your cell phone right now?
Jessica had them. She took our cell phones.
Did
She
she?
woke us up and told us that.
Okay. So did you see her with your cell phone, or she just told you that and you assumed she had them?
She said, "I got your cell phones," and we're like, "Wow, what the heck? She has our cell phones."
Okay. So let's.
And that's why the guy said he found my
let's,
wallet too on the street, and he gave it back to me because my wallet was there too.
so let's slow down for a second. Do you understand now that even the smallest little detail that
Yes.
you need to
Sorry.
slow down? Listen, you need to slow down because at the smallest little details that you're telling me is the difference straight up between me thinking you had something to do with the death of this little girl and me thinking that you're telling the truth. Straight up on a radar of 1 to 10, if I think you're full of shit, I think you're about a 9 full of shit.
Did you notice, what about in the bathroom? That'd be a weird place for a knife.
What, the bathroom?
Yeah.
Which bathroom?
Well, the one over by, you tell me, how many bathrooms are in this apartment?
There's two. There's mine, and then there's kids'.
Okay,
Okay.
so,
But if you're trying to say when I took a pee, did I see a knife in there at any time or anything like that? No, I didn't.
you didn't see a knife in the bathroom that you took a pee in?
Yeah, ours, in our room.
Your bathroom that
Yes.
you took a pee in?
Yes.
And you took a pee in the kids' bathroom too at one point?
No, I don't remember taking that.
When you
And
were
I don't remember using the restroom. Okay. I don't, guys. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
I
I don't really care if you peed or not, but
I didn't
What
notice any
I'm-
knife or anything like that. No, I did not.
at what point did you go in the bathroom by Victoria's or look in that bathroom? Because at first you said that you did not ever check on Victoria, right? Never happened. You guys never checked on Victoria. You left,
thought
and then
she
you
was
left
asleep.
Michelle. Thought she was sleeping.
Yeah.
Now there's this big story about this fight that happened over by Victoria's room, and you're pulling Michelle off, and this is a big story that never happened before.
What we're
It never
saying,
existed.
what I'm trying to tell you is this: we thought Victoria was fine because we thought she was sleeping, like we were saying, okay? And Jessica never said nothing bad, you know. So we thought everything was okay. We thought she was sleeping because we seen her coming down the stairs. We were listening to music down there, okay? She went back up there, and we went back up there. And we said, "What?" She said she laid her back down. She said. So then we just left it, you know, because we said to leave her asleep, okay? So this is the whole reason why I'm saying that. And then when we went to bed is when we got woke up, and this is when all the weird, crazy, iron, weird bullshit started happening. Where Jessica trying to fucking kill us and say that we fucking trying to do this and that. And
You know what I think, Fabian? I think that we've been sitting here for a long time, for quite a while, talking in circles, and I think
but tell me how.
you're a smart guy.
I know,
Listen to
But let
me.
me tell you
I-
guys.
I think you're a
Yeah,
smart
you
guy.
guys-
She's talking
Tell
to
me.
you, Fabian.
Listen, just real quick. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt
I understand
because I'm
that.
saying you're a smart guy.
I understand.
Smart enough to know when that little girl was being carried up those stairs yesterday that you did go check on her and she was dead and you got scared. I think you were just scared and you knew. So I think you guys were like in the apartment over like
I didn't
hours.
know. If I would have known that, I would have said something right away, guys. Come on, scared or not, I would have. I would have said something.
Well, how can you convince me of that?
Nothing he could say would work because this wasn't a random event. The detectives could see it from a mile away.
You know, let me just tell you something. I know that sometimes people do really, things that get them off and maybe get them off sexually even, that they're more embarrassed of what the public's gonna think. But that stuff's pretty private, okay? And I understand that if, you're with two girls and you guys are getting high and it gets people off to hurt a little girl. I mean, it happens before, because let me tell you,
Oh, come on.
that's
That's sick. That's
Fabian?
disgusting. That's gross.
but
That's very.
you're putting this on your cousin. And so, like I'm saying, if we don't explain it, people are gonna think some weird shit like that, which is weird to
but I would-
everybody.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, Jessica, I've never seen her act like that. Every time, but like I said, I've never lived with her. Only when I was really young, when we were raised a little bit, a couple years from my grandma. Okay. And I've never ever seen that kind of behavior or that kind of stuff like that. You know, I've always seen her just act bad and act stupid and the CIFD.
Well, you're the first one to run out of there off the balcony, and you take the iron and you throw it in a bush, which is cool. You tell us about it. 'Cause
Yes.
but
Right away.
this girl has been kind of hacked up a little bit, and there's no weapon in there that shows what she was hacked up with. So since you're the first one to run out of there, you know, I'm trying to think. Did you take something that you maybe didn't realize was something you used that could have done that and didn't realize it?
No, Michelle was right there with me watching. She knows that, or she would have been telling me, "Oh, what'd you do?
She was with you watching.
You didn't know what you
part?
were doing." Like we're watching each other, trying to watch each other's back with Jessica and trying to control her.
You weren't watching each other's. You weren't watching her back because you left.
I was, but at the time that was the only time to get away without Jessica running back and forth and hitting us.
I would have found something to whack
That's what I
that
know,
crazy bitch on the
I was
head.
scared because I didn't know if she had more people outside.
This is what I don't get, dude. Listen to me. If I were you, I would have gotten a fucking lamp and I would have whacked that crazy psycho fucking bitch on the head, and that would have been okay. But instead, you ran off. You ran off.
Yeah,
But dude, really,
I'm sorry.
I'm not buying it.
No matter how much he denied it, his own counterpart was ratting him out.
We're done with the bullshit. We're done with the bullshit. Look at me. Man to man. We're fucking done with the bullshit.
I understand, sir.
So we're gonna get to the bottom of the real story right
I
now?
understand, sir.
We're gonna get to the bottom of the real story because Michelle's giving us the real story. Okay? So I want the real story. Because I know that you and Michelle were inside the apartment and that you knew that Victoria was dead. So let's get to the real story. Listen to me. Michelle is telling us that you guys were in the apartment and that she saw Jessica move Victoria's dead body around 7:30 and that you guys were both there. So let's cut the shit and whatever cockamamie bullshit story you guys came up with in that apartment, it's out the window. We're done with it.
The detectives over in Michelle's interrogation room were constantly in contact with the detectives speaking to Fabian. Through text messages, they updated each other on how the story was unfolding and were constantly able to change their approach accordingly. They might not have been in the same room, but their questions were connected. Together, they were building a narrative that was so horrifying that everyone that's ever heard it wishes they didn't.
Let me ask you this, because it may just be hard to say, okay? When Jessica and Fabian did what they did in the bathroom, where did they get the knife?
Probably from the kitchen.
In the kitchen?
That's I have the box knives there. Like the big sharp knives.
Okay. And what did they do with it after?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is?
You can't lie about it. All right, I need you to tell me what you observed while they were doing what they were doing to your daughter in the bathroom. Were you threatened at all to keep your mouth shut?
Yes. What?
All right, so tell me about that.
Fabian said if I say anything to anybody, or Jessica, if I say anything to anybody, that they'll come after me.
So Fabian told you that too?
Mm-hmm.
And tell me this, why did Fabian tell you that?
I don't know why he said it, but it's just like, if you say anything to anybody, you'll be the next one.
Okay.
And I think that's why Jessica did the dirty work. And I think
Who was the ringleader, would you say?
Jessica.
Explain dirty work.
Like with the iron and everything like that, the one to actually do it.
Yeah, but tell me, what do you mean? Like because we know that she didn't wake you guys up and hit you over the head with the iron. We already know that. So can you explain that part of it?
She didn't, because that's how I got to bed.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, it wasn't this, oh my gosh, we don't know where my daughter is. Because she had already been killed and cut up, and you knew that. But how did this all happen? Did you guys get in a fight because they thought you were gonna talk?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I was scared.
So I know you were scared, right? Let's kind of backtrack, okay? Because Fabian already said that you know, he told us how she was killed, and he told us that you knew about it, and that Jessica. So listen, so let me stop. Okay, I understand you're threatened. You were threatened just to keep quiet. All right, we just need to know from you. All right, what they told you, what you know about how she was killed. Because since I don't know stuff, you know, you tried it in the first part of the interview. Look where we're at now. Okay. All right. You need to look out for yourself.
For your daughter.
Yeah. You know, if they did something despicable, we need to know about that. I need to know what what happened. I know you know, and I just need you to be honest.
For a mother, there's no bigger nightmare than knowing your child has died, let alone been killed. But Victoria's horrors didn't end with her death.
But Michelle, we will protect you. Okay? I'm here to protect you. I just need to know the truth, and I need to know the truth so we can do my job correctly. Okay? So how did they kill her?
I didn't see them do it, but I saw the knife.
Okay.
It was the one from the kitchen.
Okay.
From the box. And he stabbed her.
And what did they do?
I didn't see what they did with the pieces.
Pieces of
with the
what?
body. With the body.
Okay.
I know where she got stabbed.
Where?
In the stomach.
And at what point, where was she at in the house when you noticed this?
That's when I saw her in the bathroom.
Okay.
And then I was in shock, so I left. I didn't know what to do.
Okay. Who stabbed your daughter?
Jessica.
Okay. Now listen. All right. There was blood in your daughter's room. All right, so I know you're afraid. Look at me. You gotta trust me.
I trust you.
Okay, I'm good. I want you to trust me. You have to trust me. Okay, I know you know how she was killed. But I need you to tell me because I know more happened prior to what happened, her getting stabbed in the stomach. And I know you know that. And I know that they're trying to cover things up. But obviously he's trying to put everything on you. So I need you to tell me, you know, if Jessica did something to her, or if Fabian did something to her, or both, I need you to be honest and tell me that, okay? We are here to protect you. But you doing this, you telling us what happened, you're doing the right thing. I know it may not sound like in your head because of the fear of what you think they might do or are capable of. I get it.
Because I know what he can do. I don't even want to live there anymore.
Okay, so I need you to tell me what they did. No matter how much it hurts, I need to know. Before she was put in the bathtub, I know something else happened in that bedroom. And I know you know. And I need you to tell me the truth. No matter how much it hurts. Okay?
They cut off her body parts. They cut off her body parts.
Where?
Arms.
They cut off her arms? Okay. And what did they do with those arms?
Put them in the bathtub.
Where did they cut off her arms?
In the bedroom on the bed.
In her bedroom? Okay. So listen, I know that you saw what they were doing. I bet it was horrific. I know it's horrific. But I need you to tell me what you saw them do. I need you, no matter how, I know it's gonna be hard, okay? But I need you to be as specific as you can on what you saw them doing. And who was doing this? I need you to be very specific, okay? Can you do that for me?
I saw Jessica
Okay.
doing most of the work.
Okay.
She was getting her in the stomach in the bedroom.
Okay.
Then they started cutting off her arms, putting them in pieces in the bathtub.
Okay. Tell me who was cutting, because we know that probably more than one knife was used. So, who was doing what?
And Jessica was holding, Baby was cutting with a knife.
Okay.
Why were they taking her arms?
They figured maybe it would be easier to hide the body part.
Okay.
Okay.
And I couldn't watch anymore.
What's that?
I said that I couldn't watch anymore.
So you were watching at the beginning, but after that you couldn't watch anymore?
After I saw Jessica stabbing her in the stomach, and after I saw them like holding her,
Okay.
I couldn't.
Was she dead before she started stabbing her in the stomach?
Wait.
I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Was she clothed?
Yes.
She had clothes on?
And she had her little pink pants on, her pink fleece pants.
Oh, she had her pants on?
Mm-hmm.
Did she have a shirt on?
I didn't see one. I think Jessica gave her drugs
You think Jessica gave her drugs?
because she had them on the table. She had the meth bags
Okay.
on the table.
And you saw meth bags on the table?
Yeah. The crystal
Crystals? On which table?
on the living room table, the little table.
Okay.
Yeah, when I noticed my daughter, the bag wasn't there.
Did you know your daughter had taken some or eaten some?
Maybe think it was candy, like the pop rocks.
Right.
Yeah?
Those
Okay,
pop rocks.
it's a possibility.
Because she don't know.
Well, and you're a good mom. You don't have drugs and stuff like that in the house, so she
No.
probably had never seen them before.
Michelle witnessed the entire thing.
When they went to the house, into the room, and Jessica was over her with a pillow, suffocating her.
And when was this?
When she was in her room. When she was in her room.
Okay. And you saw Jessica do this? Why did this happen?
I don't know. I don't know why it happened.
Well, I know you know, because more's coming out. Okay, I know you know why it happened. I just need you to be honest. I'd rather you tell me now, right? Than me find out later, hey, she's saying I didn't know, but we really know that she did know, right? I'd just rather you be honest and tell me now. Because nobody just does it for no reason. You know? The fact that they're trying to do what they did at the doggy body, they're trying to get rid of it, they're trying to hide it, they're trying to cover up. So what are they trying to cover up?
But when they asked her about it again, there was another addition to the story.
Did you go check on it?
I always check on her.
Mhm.
When I checked on her, she seemed to be breathing. Because I checked, I always look at her stomach, see if it's going up and down. And that was the last time that I checked on her.
Okay. And what happened next?
Fabian said he was gonna go check on her for me. So he went to go check on her, and that was the time she wasn't breathing. And that's when he told me, she's not breathing.
And what did you do?
I got up and, what do you mean she's not breathing? And then I looked on the table and put the notice the bag was gone. I was like, did she get a hold of that? And they're like, she might have.
Okay.
I was like, what was the only thing there?
And where was the bag at?
The living room table,
Okay.
the coffee table.
And did you ever see it after it went missing?
No.
No? Okay.
And it all escalated from there.
So then Jessica went to get the knife, and I asked her where she's going with that.
Okay.
She said we're gonna dispose of the body.
So let's back up just a little bit, okay? Because you're skipping around. So Fabian tells you she's not breathing. Did you go check on her?
I did.
Okay. And tell me about that. What did you see?
Just her laying there.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to call the cops because then they probably would have stopped me from trying to do that.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
There's another reason that you didn't call the police though, isn't there? Why didn't you call police?
Because there was drugs in the house.
Okay.
And I didn't want them to think it was mine because it's not.
Okay. And I understand that. I understand. Okay. I mean, there's drugs in the house. You don't want to get in trouble. Okay. So you check on your daughter, and what do you find?
She wasn't breathing when I went in there.
Okay. Was she dead?
She was.
Okay.
Just when you'd think they'd stop and let the tiny 10-year-old's body rest, they began treating her like an inconvenience, all in front of her mother.
He said if I tell anybody that I'm gonna be the next one,
Okay.
they threatened me.
And what did you guys decide to do with your daughter? With Victoria? Your baby girl. This is your 10-year-old baby girl, Victoria. What did you guys decide to do?
They put me in the bathtub.
Okay. What happened then? Because you were there, and you saw, and you watched. Am I right? Yeah. Okay. So what was the discussion about what was going to be done with Victoria?
I don't remember the discussion.
But you knew what was going to happen.
I knew they were gonna get rid of it, but I didn't know. I forgot this discussion.
You forgot the discussion.
I don't remember it.
Okay. What happened? What happened next?
They said that if I say anything, they just kept threatening me.
Okay.
That if I say anything, I'm gonna be the next one. Or I better not fall asleep. So then I just left.
So you left?
There was nothing else I could do. I didn't know what to do.
I know it's hard.
Even before that was the time I saw Jessica stabbing her in the stomach.
Okay.
And then with the pillow over it.
So explain the whole pillow over her head. What was that for?
Because it's a grip to hold her hands.
So was she already
Because she
dead?
was already.
Oh, okay. So you see her and can you kind of explain to me, she's holding her hands?
And Jessica's holding her hands. And Fabian was cutting her arm.
So they were cutting her arms off in the bedroom.
Okay. And then put her in the bathtub.
Okay. When did they start cutting her leg off?
After they were, you know,
After what?
after her birth.
After her? Okay. So I guess I'm a little confused, and I think I see what you're talking about. Because it's either your daughter went into the room and she died and you left. Or it's your daughter took meth, went into the room, you guys left, came back and found her dead. Which one is it?
The second.
So you were gone.
Yes.
You weren't even there when she was dying. Okay. And so you come back and you guys make this plan like, great, now we're gonna get in trouble, so we gotta get rid of the body. Am I right?
Yeah, but I didn't want to have no part in it.
Okay.
It's not my fault.
But this is your daughter.
I know.
This is Victoria. This is your baby.
How did Victoria die? Do you know?
She tasted the meth that was on the table.
Okay, so because you said something a minute ago, you said that Jessica stabbed her.
And it was after she was already dead.
Okay.
So you know that she took the meth and that's what killed her. Okay. So you guys, or you watch, but Jessica and Fabian cut your daughter up, Victoria. They cut her arms off. They cut her leg off. They cut her from here to here, Victoria. They cut her. And you watch, right?
I couldn't. After I saw that she was starting to cut her arm, I left.
What do you mean you left?
I went outside.
Okay. So explain to me what happened after that. You guys started cleaning up?
And they started cleaning up.
She was outside when the two strangers she'd brought into her home were dismembering her body into tiny pieces. But she didn't run. She didn't ask for help. If that's not heartless enough, what she did right after took things to a whole other level.
What did you do?
I went in the kitchen,
What did you do in the
getting
kitchen?
ready to make dinner, making the tacos. And then Fabian took over after he was finished.
So after you guys cut the arms off of Victoria, cut her leg off, and wrapped her up in a blanket and put her in the bathtub, right? Then you went and made dinner. And what did Jessica and Fabian do?
I feel like nothing ever happened.
Okay. Were they cleaning up?
And Jessica,
Jessica, was she cleaning up where? What part of the house was she cleaning?
bathroom's room.
Okay.
Then that's when I saw her take the blankets from his room to the washing machine.
Okay.
Because the washing machines are in the kitchen.
So where did they cut her up at?
The bathtub.
In the bathtub? So where did they cut her arms off at?
In the bedroom.
In the bedroom. Okay. Did you, when they were cutting her up, Victoria, did you ever touch Victoria or hold on to her, hold her arm? Did you ever hold her
No, because
steady?
they threatened me saying if I go near them, that they're gonna kill me.
Okay. So you go and make dinner. Okay. And they are cleaning. And then what happens after that?
Once dinner was done, I go in my room and I eat.
Okay.
And I
so
only
you
ate one
eat.
taco.
Well, because you were probably sick to your stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
So then I put the other one in the fridge.
The fact that she cared enough to remember how much she ate and where she put the leftovers, but wasn't able to help her daughter when she needed it, was unbelievable. No loving mother on earth would be able to sit back and let that happen, even if her life was in danger. But she continued to act like she couldn't have done anything.
And how did this all happen? How did the fight happen? Okay. Did they think you were gonna try to get away?
Yes, because when I got up out of bed because I couldn't sleep. When I got up, that's when Jessica explained if I believed in God. And that was my hint right there that she was trying to kill me. So I was gonna get up because I saw the iron in her hand. And when I got up, that's when she hit me. And I was holding like this. And I went outside into the living room. And then that's where everything else took place. She just started beating me and beating me.
Now, you and Fabian both left out of the front door. And I know that you left together because the neighbors you guys woke the neighbors up and they all watched you. Okay? So you and Fabian left together out the front. What did you guys decide you were going to tell police? Because you now have to call police. You're very hurt. What did you guys decide to tell the police?
That Jessica did it.
That Jessica did it. Okay.
Did somebody do something to Victoria after she took the meth to make sure that she stayed asleep? That you know of?
That I can recall. I can't remember much.
So did you lie about Jessica killing your daughter because that was the plan when you and Fabian got attacked? And it's okay if you did. I understand why you would be dishonest. But I need to know because we can't, I don't want Jessica to get in trouble for something that she did or did not do. So if she killed your daughter, we need to know that. But if she didn't kill your daughter, if it was an accident that she took these drugs, we also need to know that too. Does that make sense? Okay. Did Jessica kill your daughter?
No.
No. Okay. Did your daughter die because there was meth left on the table and she took some?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Did you guys cut her apart because you were afraid to call police because she had died from drugs and you were afraid that you would get in trouble?
They did, yes.
They did. Okay. Did Michelle kill Victoria? Okay. Was it an accident? Okay. Okay.
Did anybody force Victoria to eat the meth?
No.
And nobody had to try it?
Do you wish now that you had called police when she took it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's hard to imagine her being any worse here, but this interrogation was about to take a much darker turn.
Michelle, real quick, and it's just the detective was speaking about
Fabian. After Victoria passed away, and it must have been just absolutely so difficult. Before you went and made dinner, after you guys had, or after Fabian and Jessica cut her up, when did you and Fabian have intercourse? And was it forced? Or
It wasn't forced.
Okay, so when did you guys have sex?
It was before we went to bed.
Before you went to bed? Was it before or after you ate?
After.
After you ate, okay. So, okay. So, and I just want to make sure, so she takes the meth, she dies. They cut her up, and then they clean up. And then you guys had made dinner, and then after that, you had sexual intercourse with Fabian before you went to bed. Okay, all right.
What came next proved that Michelle wasn't really a victim in all of this. She was the mastermind all along.
All right, Michelle, I'm gonna ask you one question, and it's a very serious question, okay? Who was raping your daughter? Who was sexually assaulting your daughter? Who was sexually assaulting your daughter, Michelle? Because you knew about it.
That was my ex-boyfriend.
That was your ex-boyfriend?
Yes, and that's why I got rid of him.
What's his name?
David Hernandez.
Is he assaulting your son as well?
Not that I know of.
Michelle.
Because my son is barely with me. He's mostly with his
Michelle.
father.
Was he assaulting your son as well?
Not really, no.
When did
What time out?
Yeah.
What the, to be frank, what the fuck does not really know me when it comes to being a child? Was he assaulting your son or not?
No.
Okay, that was the most, out of all the answers you've given me, that was the most deceptive answer you've given me all day. You need to, this is the time, that you're not in trouble for it, we gotta know what's going on.
Mhm.
Was he assaulting your son as well?
No.
When did you find out that Fabian and Jessica were sexually active with your daughter? When did you find out? And be honest,
Not too long ago.
not too long ago, okay.
Because if I would have known that, I would have totally get out.
So, how much meth were they giving her so that way they could sexually assault her?
Probably quite a few.
They gave it to her quite a few times? Okay.
How would they give it to her?
You just put it in her mouth. Like that.
How did she die last night? While she was being assaulted, how did she die?
No,
Nope,
no.
meth is not what killed her.
The meth probably contributed to it. We know for a fact the meth is not what killed her. How did she die, Michelle?
Okay, let's go back. When did you find out that Fabian was having sex with your daughter, with Victoria? How long ago?
Just recently.
Just recently?
What is recently? How
Like
many days?
days, weeks,
Days.
days?
A couple of days.
Like a couple of days, like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days?
2.
2 days, okay? And when did you find out that Jessica was also sexually assaulting your daughter? Were they doing this together?
Yes.
Okay. How did you find out about it? Did you walk in on it? It's okay, but I need to know. Did you walk in on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were both on it.
They were both on your daughter? Okay. So 2 days ago you find out that they're raping your daughter. Am I right? Okay. So how would they do it?
I'm a lot at work.
But how? How would they I asked you about them giving her meth.
Mhm.
Was last night the first time that she had meth?
As far as I know, that I've seen.
So you watched them give her meth last night? You described how they did it, so when did they give her the meth?
When she was sitting on the couch watching TV.
And does it make it easier for her, or does it make it easier for them so she doesn't fight? What does the meth do?
It calms her down.
It calms her down so they can have sex with her. Okay. And while they were having sex with her, how did they kill her? And I don't want to hear because of the meth again. How did they kill her, Michelle? How did they kill Victoria?
Stabbing.
Are you guessing? Or are you telling me that? Because you were in the room while she was being sexually assaulted. You were there. Did you participate?
No.
Did you watch?
No.
You just watched? You were there. When your daughter was being sexually assaulted, you were there. Where were you?
No.
You were in the bedroom. In your bedroom or your daughter's bedroom? Okay, and where were Fabian and Jessica?
So I thought they were having a cigarette, but they weren't.
What were they doing?
No. You watched them give them her meth, and you knew what they were gonna do. Don't play. Let's not start playing games now, girl. They weren't having a cigarette. You knew they were raping your daughter. Where were they raping your daughter? What room?
In her room.
Okay.
How did you participate? I don't think that you assaulted your daughter. Did you help hold her down? And I appreciate you being honest about what Jessica and Fabian have done. Okay. But the only thing that you're not being honest about is your involvement. Okay. So, when Jessica and Fabian were in the room sexually assaulting your daughter, what part did you take in that act? You let them do it?
Okay. Were you having sexual intercourse with Fabian or Jessica while they had sex with your daughter?
No.
Did you have sex with Fabian right after he had sex with your daughter?
Yes.
Did Fabian put his penis in your daughter's vagina or any other part of her body? Her mouth or her butt?
I could see.
What was he doing to her? I need to know.
He was going on top of her
With what?
with his penis on top.
Did he put his penis in your daughter?
Not inside, no.
Was he rubbing it in the lips of her vagina?
Yes.
So it
That's
penetrated.
possible.
So it penetrated the lips of her vagina. Was he completely naked or was he clothed?
He had his shorts down with his shirt off.
And what was Jessica doing to your daughter?
She was holding her.
How?
By her arms and her shoulders. So, and her feet. Maybe was holding her feet.
What were you holding? What were you holding? Be honest.
I'll be honest.
So you just watched. Yeah, you just watched, but you didn't help hold her down.
No.
Did you, while they were doing this, did you have any physical contact with Jessica or Fabian or your daughter of any sort?
No.
How soon did Fabian ejaculate on or inside your daughter?
On
On?
top of her stomach.
Was your daughter saying anything?
Stop.
What was Jessica saying?
Just shut up.
What was Fabian saying?
He wasn't really saying much. He was just.
And you just stood there and watched? You just let them do this to your daughter? Yes?
I should have stopped him.
Even if Victoria wasn't her own child, what happened to her should have made her stomach turn. But that's not how she felt.
And then how long after he ejaculated on your daughter did he have sex with you?
Like 15-20 minutes.
The detectives needed her to be specific so they could set up a clear timeline.
How long was Victoria alive after she was raped? Or was she dead after she was raped? Did they kill her then? I need to know.
Yes.
Yes to what?
They killed him.
When? When they raped her?
Mm-hmm.
And how did they kill her?
You were there, you watched it. You saw.
You're the only person who can bring any sort of justice to this awful, horrible crime.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only person who can help us. So help us. How did they kill your daughter?
By raping her.
Explain that to me, I don't understand. He raped her so hard she died?
He covered her mouth
With what?
tape.
Okay. I thought you said she was screaming.
She finally got there because it's the mouth tape. If it gets wet.
Michelle,
She,
stop. Let's go back to when we were being honest. This is your just turned 10-year-old baby girl, Victoria, who is being held down on a bed so an adult man can rape her. You are the only one that is going to be able to tell us how she died because you were there. You were watching it. How did she die? And don't maybe this or I think that. How did she die? How did you see her die?
Did you kill her, Michelle?
no, I didn't.
Okay. Who killed her?
Fabian and Jessica.
How did Fabian and Jessica kill Victoria? Michelle, how did they kill your daughter?
Raping her and holding her down.
How are they holding her down? Because if I hold on to Corey's arms, it's not going to kill him. Where were they holding her?
I don't know.
Whose hands were on her neck?
Fabian's hands because he was on top of her.
Whose hand was on her mouth?
Jessica.
When he was done, when he ejaculated on your daughter, was she dead already? Or was she still alive?
She wasn't moving.
After he was done, did they do anything to ensure that she was dead? What did they do to make sure that she was dead, Michelle? No, that's not good enough. What did they do when they were done raping your daughter and holding her by her neck? What did they do? We have to know. We're way past playing any games here, girl. Did they do anything?
This,
Okay. Were you clothed or were you naked?
I was clothed.
Was Jessica clothed or was she naked?
She had her top off.
And Fabian, you said he had his shorts on with his penis exposed?
He had to pull down, but he had no shirt on.
And was Victoria naked?
Yeah. She had her pants on.
Who took Victoria's clothes off?
They took the pants off. Jessica took her shirt off.
What did you do with her underwear? What did you do with Victoria's underwear?
Took them, put them in the laundry basket.
You took them and you put them in the laundry basket. Why? What was on them?
Measure from Fabian.
What else?
Blood.
And why was there blood on them?
Because he penetrated.
Because he penetrated her.
And then 20 minutes later, you had sex with Fabian?
Somehow, Michelle's thought process was that because she never physically did anything to Victoria, she wasn't an abuser.
I know that you said that 2 days ago you learned that Jessica and Fabian were having sex with your daughter, right? Okay. How, and I know that this is going to be hard to answer, okay, but I want to get you the best help I can, okay? How long have you been sexually assaulting your daughter?
I've never said this to my daughter.
How long have you been inviting men into your house to sexually assault your daughter?
The only two that I know of is David and these.
Okay, but you've allowed it.
No, I kicked him out, but then I found out about them too, and then
What did David do to your daughter?
he was like trying to kiss her on the lips and stuff like that. And
Did he
he
rape
was
your
trying to
daughter?
put his fingers down there. And
Did he rape your daughter?
no, I took her and got tested, and it came out negative.
Did you report it to the police?
Yes, I did.
So, when did you find out that Fabian and Jessica were assaulting your son?
I didn't know they were assaulting my son.
We are not going, okay. We know that there's been sexual contact on your son. We've been doing a lot of stuff since you guys called 911 last night, okay? One of those things is interviewing your son and making sure that he's okay. Then what I need to know is who is sexually assaulting your son. Be honest.
I always thought it was his father because he'd always watch porn in front of him and everything, and every time he would come home from his house, he would touch Victoria inappropriately, and I'd ask him where he'd get that from, and he would tell me, well, Daddy watches naked girls.
Michelle, you have been bringing men to your apartment to use your daughter and sexually assault your daughter. This is not the first time that this has happened. This is not the first time that your daughter has been assaulted. I'm just going to use the word because that's what it is. You were allowing men to come over and have sex with your daughter, and in turn also having sex with you. Help me understand that.
What do you get out of it? Is it a turn on for you?
No.
Then help.
Because I would never do that to my daughter.
But you did last night. And the only reason that we're sitting here today, Michelle, is that it went a little further than it ever has before. This time she died. You weren't ready for the type of animals that these people were, and it went further than you anticipated. But let's start with this. How many times that what happened last night, minus her dying, how many times have you watched or that you know that Fabian and Jessica have had sex with your daughter since they've been in your house? How many times?
3 times.
I think it's probably more than that.
That you watched?
That I know about.
How many times did you watch?
There was only that one.
How many times did you watch? Be honest.
Michelle, we know you watched. How many times did you watch? Every time?
Mostly.
So does it turn you on when Fabian has sex with you after? Is that what it is? That I'm just trying to understand.
No, it doesn't.
But you have sex with him immediately after, right?
I don't know why.
Okay.
Did David come into your house and have sex with your daughter while you watched?
No.
That wasn't a very honest answer. I'm gonna ask you again. Did David come into your house and have sex with your daughter while you watched?
Yeah.
Okay. How many times?
Twice.
How many other men have come into your house and had sex with your daughter while you watched? I need to know. Like I said, Victoria is dead. Whatever somebody believes about the afterlife or doesn't believe about the afterlife, the only thing we have anymore is to bring her justice.
Yeah.
And to be frank with you, by the sound of the things that she was experiencing, it sounds like death was the easy way out for her. Because it sounds like some pretty horrible things have happened to her in her life. So do me this one favor as a human being. Human being to human being. How many other men are out there that have come into your house and have had sex with your daughter or your son? And I need to know, and I need to know their names, and I need to know their information, because I guarantee you they're out there doing this to another child right now. So if there's any saving grace in this for you, you could potentially help another child from being victimized and being in the same exact situation that Victoria was 10 hours ago. If there's any way that you can do right by her, it would be that. How many men have come into your house and had sex with your daughter while you watched?
We have David and we have Fabian. Who else?
And men or women, let's put it that way.
I'm not friends with much women.
Okay, so men. We have David, And we know Fabian. Who else?
There's one other guy, Joshua.
Joshua what?
What's his last name? Gray. Oh,
Where does he live?
that I don't know where he lives.
Do you have a phone number for him?
In my phone, but I don't have my phone.
Okay. And how many times did he come over and have sex with your daughter?
Let me see.
How many times did he come over and have sex with your daughter?
Once.
One time.
Mm-hmm.
What's worse is that if she went to this extent to subject her daughter to this trauma, her son couldn't have been spared either.
So you allowed David Hernandez to have sex with Matthew.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And that was how many times? Twice?
And how many times did he have sex with Victoria?
3 times.
Was this at the same time or separate incidents?
It's separate.
Okay.
Did he have sex with you every time?
No, not every time.
Did the way that you relax Victoria is to give her meth? Did you give Matthew the same thing so that way he would relax?
Mm-hmm.
What would you give Matthew to relax?
I can give him Zico.
ZQL? Is that like a nighttime make him drowsy kind of thing? Okay.
Sure.
Were you receiving any money from these people to have sex with your children?
No.
You did it because you enjoyed watching?
No.
Okay. Michelle, we're right there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you allow these people to have sex with your children because you like to watch? Be honest. Yeah? You liked watching? Okay.
Michelle, are there any images or videos of any of these sexual acts being done to your children?
Mm-hmm.
Are you positive?
Yes.
Is there a video of Victoria being raped and murdered last night?
No.
Are there any videos of Matthew or Victoria being raped by any of these men?
No.
Where are you meeting these people?
And David, I met when I used to work with him. And then Josh and these two I met off of POF.
And are they coming over for the sole purpose of having sex with your children? Is that the understanding you guys have when you talk?
That's what I thought it was.
So your understanding is that they will come over, have sex with your kids, and then have sex with you. Is that's kind of how it works? Do they know this when you're on the website? No? It's something that you talk about after you meet them?
No.
How do you find people that want to do this?
I don't tell them.
You don't tell who?
The people I meet.
So how did you know that David would want to have sex with your child?
Because I saw the signs that he would give to her.
Okay, so you watched them.
The signs that he would do. And the things that he would do.
And then do you tell them it's okay to have sex with your children? Did you like that?
No.
Okay, so
Be honest, Michelle.
Michelle, listen. It's a very small population of the world who's willing to have sex with a child. That's just being frank, okay? The fact that you have 3 men who in the last, I'm guessing, about a year, have come over and had sex with your children as well as you, means that you were intentionally seeking these people out and you know how to find them. So how are you doing that? How does the conversation start and end up with somebody having sex with your child in your apartment?
They asked me if I have any kids. I said I have 2.
Okay?
And then when they meet me, they want to meet them too.
Okay. So are there just kind of cues when you have conversations and you kind of know?
Mm-hmm.
And then before they come over, do they know they're going to have sex with your children?
No.
Michelle. They know before they come to your house that they're going to have sex with their children, don't they? The only way that it wouldn't, Jill, again, there's such a small population of people that are willing to do that. It's okay. After everything that's happened, I don't know why you're afraid to tell us this. This is like the least of everything. I'm just trying to understand your mindset and how this works, honestly, so that I can make sure other kids aren't victimized and that they don't die. So do you agree with these people over the internet or over the phone that they're gonna come have sex with your children before they come over?
And where is that done?
At my house.
No, and I'm sorry, that was probably a little bit too vague. Are you on a chat line or on a website and you're telling them you can come have sex with my children? Or are you on the phone, or was it over text message? How did you communicate?
I just told him to come over and then it was talked about.
So you would tell him come over. See, and here's what I don't understand. I can't go and talk to somebody who doesn't want to have sex with kids and them not report me.
So are you in a special chat room or a special, like if you go to Craigslist, are you, like it says men seeking men? Are you in a specific portion of the internet where people are looking to do this type of thing?
No.
Okay. Are you doing it over the phone or over the internet?
It was over the POF.
What is POF?
Plenty of fish.
Plenty of fish?
Okay, so can you IM somebody, instant message them?
Yeah, well, you can message them, but you can't, like, you can message them, but you have to wait till they reply. You can't instant message them unless you're a member
Okay,
and you pay for the plan.
so you guys kind of email back and forth then?
Mhm.
Okay, and they ask you if you have kids, you tell them yes. Is some of the stuff they tell you cues that they may want to have sex with your children? And you kind of know the type of person you're looking for?
Sometimes.
Did you know that Fabian and Jessica both wanted to have sex with your child?
I did not know they didn't know. Then I just
No,
met
let's-
Vivian
let's-
just to like.
You knew Fabian did, because that was talked about. Am I right? You knew Fabian wanted to have sex with your daughter because you guys discussed it. Am I right or am I wrong?
I didn't discuss that with him.
Yes, you did. You just told us you did. 5 minutes ago, you said that you talked to Fabian about having sex with your daughter and that you allowed it and that you watched. Is that true? Okay. I guess sometimes I don't understand why you'll tell the truth on these big, huge things, but on little things you try to lie. And it makes no sense to me. Do you know what I mean?
Victoria was trapped in a home where everyone failed her. Every adult who should have protected her didn't.
How many times did Fabian have sex with your daughter? Was it every day?
Most likely.
Was it every day?
Yes.
Not most likely,
Yes.
not, I don't know. Did you know that he was having sex with your daughter every day?
Yes.
Did you watch every time?
No, because I worked.
How many times did Fabian have sex with your son Matthew during the last month?
Probably at the same time.
Every day?
Mm-hmm.
Was the only reason he didn't last night because he wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
And does Fabian penetrate Matthew with his penis?
Yes.
In light of everything the detectives found out during the interrogation, Michelle, Fabian, and Jessica were all arrested. They were charged with first-degree murder, child abuse resulting in death, tampering with evidence, criminal sexual penetration of a minor, and conspiracy. But 2 years later, in 2018, a new district attorney, Raul Torres, decided to re-examine the case, and the findings were the opposite of what they'd originally thought. Cell phone data showed Michelle and Fabian weren't home when Victoria died. Toxicology reports showed no drugs in Victoria's system, and forensic evidence which contradicted Michelle's version of events. The DNA evidence on Victoria's body came from an unidentified man, not Fabian Gonzalez. although she did have an STD and had signs of prior abuse at the time of her death. She was strangled to death. The rape and murder charges were dropped against Michelle Martins and Fabian Gonzalez. The detectives had twisted the truth about what they knew and what they believed. With that, they led Michelle into giving false statements throughout her interrogation. Jessica was the only person with Victoria at the time, but that's not the story she presented during the trial.
Some guy just shows up. I left the door open, so he kind of walks in. He asked, where's Fable? And I told him he wasn't here. I ended up grabbing a cigarette and going to the balcony and smoking a cigarette, not thinking anything was going to happen. And when he came out, he let me know that we had something to clean up in there.
According to her, when she went back into the room, she saw that Victoria had already been killed by the mystery man. Not just that, she claims that she let Fabian know what happened, how there was a man looking for him and that he had killed Victoria.
Cause he was like, for real, cuz, what the f? And I was like, for real, what are we gonna do? We have to get rid of her body, no. And he said, all right, we'll take turns.
Michelle Martins took a plea deal in 2019, pleading guilty to reckless child abuse resulting in death. She was sentenced in November of 2022 to 12 years in prison, with 6 years credited for time already served. Jessica Kelly also accepted a plea deal in 2019. She pleaded no contest to reckless child abuse resulting in death, along with other charges. She was sentenced to 44 years, though that sentence was later reduced due to her cooperation with the investigation. Fabian Gonzalez chose to go to trial in 2022. He was acquitted of both murder and charges, but was found guilty of reckless abuse of a child and tampering with evidence. He was sentenced to 37.5 years in prison. As of 2025, no one has been found guilty of murdering 10-year-old Victoria Martins.